In this video, we're going to go over 7 tips for insubordination and how to deal with it. So without further ado, let's do it. Hello, my name is Joe Bernal. I'm a nurse, and I just recently went through this as far as somebody being insubordinate again. So I decided to make this video. That way, if you encounter this, hopefully it'll be just a little bit easier for you. So this will be just a little bit more information that you'll have, and that way you're ready for it, because this will happen. Hopefully it doesn't, but it will. All right, so they're going to go 7 steps. The first one is be professional. It's going to be tough. It really is, because they're going to come at you, whether it's, just giving you dirty looks or yelling at you or cussing at you, profanity. They might be saying, you can't tell me what to do, or, just whatever. But it's very important that you remain professional. That is key. So if that does happen, first thing I always do is I just basically just put up my hands like, hey, you know what? Let's talk about it. Let's go somewhere. Let's get a supervisor. That way we can kind of see what's going on. But you always want to be professional. You never want to lash out. So if they're coming at you, you never want to yell back at them. Don't ever yell back at them, because again, you will get in trouble. So not only did they cause this, probably, but you will get written up. So do not ever yell back at them. Okay, now number two. Number 2 is not acceptable. Let them know the behavior is not acceptable. So if they do come at you and they start yelling or just doing whatever, just let, hey, you need to stop. Like, I'm not going to tolerate this. Let's talk about it, but do not come at me that way. So right away, you're telling them that this behavior is not acceptable. And you can actually verbally say it. Hey, this behavior is not acceptable. Let's talk about it. What's going on? So that's number 2. Number 3. So for number 3, see what the underlying problem is. They may have issues at their house. Their dog may have died, or, family member got into an accident. They just heard some bad news, or it's because, we're short-staffed, or because they didn't get the particular assignment that they wanted, and so that's upsetting them. So very important, see what the underlying issue is, because you might be able to fix it. So if they prefer a particular patient or resident or hall or just something, maybe you can help out. Maybe you can go to the other CNA or staff member or whatever and ask them, hey, is it cool if, they do this and you do this? I mean, you don't have to if you don't want to, but if you do, it'll help out. Usually they'll say yes. So everybody's happy. Number 4, you want to develop a plan to basically don't have this happen again. So if it does come down to it to where it is the actual person, say, has an issue with you, then you talk about it professionally. Set a plan, like, what do they not like? What's setting them off, pretty much. It could be you doing something, body language, that you're not even aware of. They may be coming into the room or the hall or whatever, and you might happen to look at your watch all the time, or, look down, or just something that you're not aware of, but they may see it as, they're something's happening. They're looking at the time, seeing how long I'm being in this room, or just something. Again, something you're not aware of, but they may think that you're singling them out. So for number 5, it is explain the consequences. Very important. You never ever want them to get away with it, because if they do, they will continue to do it. And not only that, but others will hear that, they can talk to you however they want, and others will do the same. And you have to remain the authoritative figure. You have to. You are the boss. So if somebody starts saying something to you and you don't do anything about it, other people will do the same thing. And then when you do try to give an order, they're not going to do it. Because why? Why should they? They've walked all over you all this time. So that's one of the things with being a nurse. I mean, you're a boss. You have to tell them to do stuff, and when it comes down to it, if they don't, that's because you're not a good leader. So this will help you become a good leader by not getting stepped on. And of course, the consequences could be, being written up or further actions, possibly being let go, fired. But what I always do in that situation is I let them know, for starters, if they do come at me, I try to remain professional. I always put up my hands. This is pretty much non-authoritative. It's non-aggressive. It's I'm all about body language. So I just put up my hands and say, you know what, listen, I'm not sure what's going on. If you want to talk about it, we can. But if this continues, as far as you talking to me like this, I will have to write you up. I don't want to. I don't like writing anybody up. But if you continue, I will have to write you up. Now, again, if you want to talk about it, something's going on, like I don't even know. But if you want to talk it out, let me know. I'm here. And usually that'll do, resolve the issue. Or they might say, you know what, I just had a bad day. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Or I didn't realize I was talking that way. Okay, no problem. It's cool. Just be careful, just, kind of take a deep breath and just, let me know if there's anything I can do or help or whatever, just, let me know. And that usually fixes it. Number six is officially document. Very important. I had one that I just did just the other day to where something happened. Insubordination, like crazy. Like I'll do another video on that. If you're interested, you can check it out. But wow. Anyway, document everything you said in quotations, everything they said in quotations, what you were doing. And what I always like to include is my body language. I'll say in my description, I, Joe Burnell, RN, was in the hall looking down at my paperwork. As the CNA passed me, I said this, reading my notes or whatever, and she said this, and this person saw it. She was walking in a rapid pace, past me, and just any kind of descriptive words. Use a bunch of adjectives. That's going to help you out a whole bunch. And again, as you know, if it's not documented, it didn't happen. So if it's not documented, it didn't happen. So again, you have to document. And it be as specific as possible. Notate the time, what room you were in, where you were at, anything that you can say. Make sure to write it all down. It's going to take some time, but write it all down. And then if you have witnesses, make sure to put their names because they may ask them. And the last one, number 7. So for number 7, it is follow through with your plans. So if you say you're going to write them up, if they continue, you have to write them up. If you say you're going to try to help them and they ask you for help and you're like, well, I'm sorry, I'm too busy. No, you have to help them. This, again, it builds trust, it builds teamwork. It lets them know that, hey, when they're having a rough day or whatever, they can depend on you. But whatever plan you set out, very important, follow through with it. So those were the 7 steps. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it shed some light on the stuff that you will encounter. Hopefully you don't, but if you do, usually it happens towards the beginning, especially towards the beginning of your nursing career. And the reason it happens towards the beginning of the nursing career is because you're new, or even at a new workplace. You're new, and they pretty much have been there already, so they kind of run the show. But if you let them walk on you, that's all it takes is one time, and you have no ground to stand on. So it's extremely important. If you found any of this information helpful, please leave a comment below. If you've ever encountered anything like this to where you have been either the person who told off your boss, again, let me know what happened. If you're the person receiving it, what did you do? How did you handle it? Did you use any of these steps? And if you did use these steps, which ones work best for you? Or if you use different ones, let me know. Very curious. Again, like I said, I've actually had 3 encounters with insubordination, and all within the past 2 months. And 2 of them were from the same girl. So, and the first one I didn't document, because I had left and no supervisors were there. And so I had called them, let them know or whatever. And they actually told me that she has done this to other nurses. And I'm thinking, are you crazy? Like, who does that? Have you ever told off your boss or spoke ugly to your boss, your supervisor, or whoever? I've had plenty of jobs. I have never done that. If you have, let me know and let me know what happened. Because again, I have never done that. I've never even, granted, yeah, when I'm in the car or, with my buddies or whatever, but, they're my boss, I need my job, But yeah, let me know. I'm very curious to know if, y'all are encountering this, where you've worked at before, or if you're a brand new nurse and you're watching this, or just even if you're not a nurse, just let me know. Like I said, I'm real curious. I've never maybe 2 years ago, I had 3 at the most, but I had a CNA that was insubordinate, but I handled it real quick. I let them know straight off the bat, hey, it's not acceptable. If you continue to do it, I have to write you up, what's going on. Ended up she was having a bad day, but talked her through it, gave her an extra little break. I just, hey, go ahead and take a few minutes, just kind of compose yourself or whatever, come back. And sure enough, when she did, she thanked me. She's like, Joe, thank you. I didn't mean to talk to you like that. I know I've been short, snappy and stuff like that. I'm sorry, Joe. I said, you know what, no problem. Just, please, if you're having any issues, just, let me know, please, hopefully I can help. One tip, and I know this is kind of going long, and if you made it this far, type in the comments before, I made it to the end, but I'm almost done. There was another one where we would always go out together, a bunch of us, and it got to the point to where, everybody was, friends and real close, friends or whatever, going out after hours and stuff. But there was a time where I told them to do something, and they kind of just joked it off, like, yeah, all right. And I was like, no, I need you to do this, and I need you to do it now. And my tone changed, and my demeanor changed, and they knew I was not joking. So they're like, okay, I'm sorry, Joe. And they did it. So that's one of the things you have to be really careful with, is when you do go out with your coworkers and you create that bond, that friendship. Sometimes it does get a little difficult to actually tell them to do stuff, because they may think, kind of favoritism, or, hey, I have to do it, we're buddies. But very important, always draw that line between going, after hours and work, because work is very important. So that's it. I gotta go. These lights are very hot. I'm not sure if I got 2 spotlights on me, and it's hot. So again, if you made it to the end, type, I made it to the end. Please comment, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. A bunch of videos that help out nurses, whether it be the cranial nerves, the potassium, lab values. I got a bunch of videos, so make sure to check out the playlist and my other videos. And thank you so much for watching. We'll see you. Thanks.